Hello, everybody. I am Manji Dragonfly, and welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's, a little weird to be streaming on a Thursday morning, but, I was actually able to kind of swing for it today. Granted, I could have actually done so, like, the last few weeks, but I just did not. Really, last week, but I just wasn't really feeling it last week. I don't know. But I really wanted to stream today. I was able to kind of swing for it today, and I really wanted to stream today because I'm not going to have a great opportunity to stream any other point this week. Because I have special plans for tomorrow. Which, if you know, you know. I'll try to remember to bring that up at the end of the stream. If nothing else, I'll definitely mention it tomorrow. But I have special plans for tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow morning. And I definitely will not be able to swing for a stream on Saturday night since I have to work Sunday morning. Fuck work. But let's just jump right back into the case. And by jump right back, I mean I need to share with you my current theory. Admittedly, I really should have taken a bit more time to re-review everything that's been going on. Let me actually pump up that volume a little bit more. See if that... So right now, my current working theory is that Shamspeare poisoned himself. But I think he wanted to pin the blame because he's been very insistent that Sylvierchii poisoned him. So I'm thinking that he wanted to get Sylvierchii arrested for trying to poison him, so that he could try to basically break into Sylvierchii's room. Because if I remember correctly, there's rumors about that the capital offender who previously lodged in Sylvierchii's room was might have hidden some treasure in there, maybe. The One Piece of killers. I'm sorry. I was so tempted to make a One Piece joke with the thumbnail, but I don't know enough about One Piece to make that joke. So I'm thinking that he decided to I think he decided to poison himself. He made sure to use, like, a poison that would not kill him outright. Also something that was very easily obtainable, like strychnine probably would have been, since I think it was a rat poison. He decided to use a poison that was, like, easily obtainable and, more importantly, would not immediately murder him, in the hopes that he would bounce back from it, pin the blame on Sylvierchii, get him arrested, and he would just have free reign to, like, break into the dude's apartment. Why not just kill Sylvierchii? Because the dude kind of has a stalker. Shamspeare kind of got the gas company, very interested in his comings and goings, so it'd be a lot more difficult for him to murder somebody with metermen, like, kind of on his trail. There's still a part of me that, like, wonders if Shamspeare and Duncan Ross are the same person. There's still a part of me that wants to say it, because I'm still wondering, like, why Shamspeare had such an interest in Miss Green's painting and stuff, but I don't know. Part of me wants to say until I see an autopsy, I'm not gonna believe Duncan Ross is. Part of me wants to say until I see an autopsy, I'm gonna assume Duncan Ross and Shamspeare are maybe the same I don't know. That was one thing that was, like, kind of getting away from me, because if Shamspeare was previously an art student, that would, I mean, granted, you don't really need a motive beyond greed. Greed is a good enough motive on its... Greed for the sake of greed is a good enough motive on its own, but, if you had to pay off some, art school debt, how much art school debt could you have gotten back in, the early 1900s? How much debt would you be in? That's really the sort of thing I should have found out about. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I think Shamspeare poisoned himself. He wants that money. I'm pretty sure I remember that there's rumors that there's a lot of money hiding somewhere in Sylvierchii's room. We'll see how this pans out. 23rd of February, 9:23 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh no, we're gonna start immediately with... Let me close that window. Is this it, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And then we'll have to deal with nonsense in... Was it 4 months or was it 6 months? 4 months! God, I really do need a re-review. Like I said, there's a reason I didn't want to put this... I don't want to put this off for another week. I have enough trouble remembering things after 1 week. And the way I've been doing it, I've been leaving this stuff... The way I'm going to be doing it now, I'm going to be leaving this off for 2 weeks every single week now. Until I finally, until I can finally whip myself back into, doing 2 streams a week again. In my own small way, I should do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato. Suffering Sylvierchii selfishly sidelined! Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Can you just go back to being a cat? I miss Mr. Mustache. Good morning! Good morning, local store Mr. Esquire! Listen to you two! Jango Yamui is the main blame of these trials in here! Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, you didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. I think inner calm has gone away from this man a long time ago. I don't think any amount of meditation will ever find his inner calm. Seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. And naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. Path of literature, you see? It's a journey to discover one's own death! Such like... This is the important conversation I was hoping for! That's why I have my eyes shut! I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me. You mustn't talk of your path leading to your death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example! Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You really came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. I forgot, we haven't even been here for a whole week and we've already gotten, we're now, 3, criminal trials in. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh? What's our decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. God damn it, I knew I was right to not bother putting in a joke about featuring Herlock Sholmes. I knew he was gonna flake on me. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think. That he's overslept again. Don't worry, he'll make a dramatic entrance at a dramatic point in time. He might even do it again. 2 to 4 months. God. In 2 to 6 months. I think it was 2 to 4 months. Great detective. My arch nemesis. I think it was 2 months because it takes 2 months. I seriously cannot remember. Oh my god. I want to say it was 2 months because I think it's 2 months journey from Great Britain to Japan. And it's after Soseki gets back and he tells Father Mikodaba is when he arranges the summons for Susato to go back home. No, it was 4 months because he has to, no, it was 4 months. It was 4 months because it takes 2 months for him to get back, and it takes another 2 months to get the message back to Susato, so it's 4 months. Please stay away! If you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. Trial's about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. When the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. Truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. Wednesday of February, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready! Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely! Justice will be done, you mark my words! I feel obligated to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me? And please, be as ruthless as you like. What? Excuse me, sir? Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. I have an appointment to deal with. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have the results. Well, tell us, because I'm genuinely curious about this. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dark. Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir! Thanks, sir! As they came out of the fence, we found a bar soaked just outside the victim's window in the snow. There was indeed a frozen reddish liquid and a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea! That's what Mr. Natsumi brought with him that night! Well, the brains of the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. Oh? No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room... Whoa, what the... Hold up. Okay, my other monitor just went black there. I was like, what the... Oh, boy. I got real concerned there for a moment. This monitor can't already be dying. It's like... God, I've had this for like half a year now. Almost half a year now. How are we already halfway through the fucking year? More or less. In other words, the tea the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation! So... How are you going to pivot this? Because you're not going to give up the case. We've been through too many of these to know that we know you won't give up just because of this one little setback. As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsumi, is blameless. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. Typical Nipponese reaction. You typical Nipponese! And you assuming someone is innocent because we were wrong! Assuming that because the tea that we've been saying is poisoned is not in fact poisoned! Dad? What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? What logic is this? What logic is it that the tea we've been saying is poisoned is not poisoned, and therefore the dude who he said poisoned the tea couldn't poison the tea? Would you take a drop from the flames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? You! Grayson literally made it a point to be like, if it's even a single drop, we know it's not poisoned or not. We know if it's poisoned or not. Don't even. My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Council. I think I am gonna make that a little bit louder as well. I feel like when I hear it back, it was not that. It was not super loud. Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just the victim's tea wasn't the main question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Why are we even still taking his testimony? We know he's a liar and a fraud and a thief! Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another conversation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand. Sir William Shamspeare, victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, you command me to remember. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he's been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, villagers, don't forget! This man's a rotten thief! I haven't forgotten, kept all that about the ice coin, a tiny secret, didn't you? You should have known it sooner! Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once! And then feel the sting in my tail! The tail? You know what, that's right, I did see recently on Twitter, someone brought up, someone put up the picture of, the two Altamont Gas Company people, Lady Altamont here and Meteor Man, mentioned, apparently they're designed around bees? The little scarf thing that Meteor Man had going on is, supposed to be, little tiny bumblebee wings. Obviously, her, parasol here is, striped like a bee tail. Or, bee tail, Jesus, bee abdomen. She's basically the queen bee, and Meteor Man is, the worker bee, which is very neat little touch. Very neat. Thankfully, I don't think I saw any major spoilers. I don't think there's any major spoilers to them. Oh, indeed. By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins. Of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths. And for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But with a still greater crime passeth unpunished. For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of Father East in Verona, they contrived to poison me. Hoppity-hop.
Objection.
There was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police attested to that. What the defense will assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak, as I hop away, flailing my arms, doing the old jazz hands. Very well, would the witness testify to explain this inconsistency? Another quote line is that poison apparently entered your body through though none was found in the tea. Tea inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. It was in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction or debate, near the drop of his own drink past his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. But 'tis no surprise, the poison we now found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite, otherwise it would be disastrous if the poison were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene! Because quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. Okay, I will say, there was one thing that, like, in my little theory that I was a little, like, uncertain about, which was, how exactly did he plan on being discovered? Because this happened in his room. Like, I do wonder, like, how he was planning on, like, making that discovery. Maybe he didn't plan a discovery quite so dramatic as, what we eventually got, but I do wonder if he did poison himself. He did it in his own room. He wasn't, like, out in public. He didn't leave. So how did he plan, like, someone discovering his, seemingly lifeless body? It's the one thing I don't quite get, unless he was banking on, what do you know about Geradev's Lamp Spy Network? The absence of a... I mean, like, no, wait, right. I guess maybe he was planning on, like, Meterman eventually being, like, where is he? If nothing else, he might have been thinking, like, the gas company would eventually be knocking on his door, like, in very short order, since, like I said, they do have a vested interest in his, comings and goings and what he's doing, since they do want to catch him in the act. Maybe, I don't know. That's the one thing that I'm, like, very uncertain about with my theory. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. Ugh, I knew that! By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Ah! Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a... But! Listen here, ladies and gentlemen! Hold on. As I can be as crooked as I. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. What? You know, no. You shut up, juror number 3. I'm disappointed in you. After last case. After last court day. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Can also proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord! Let's see how much I remember. Now that's been 2 weeks. Woo! The tea inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. Hold it! I understand you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume. Is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? That is not the question. Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first "the." Did you? All I can think of is Gunvolt in, like, the original localized script being like, I'm sorry, did you just break out a vow? I still need to, like, play, like, I still need to, like, do something about, like, showing off the original, like, English script of Gunvolt at some point. I think I've settled on, like, if Gunvolt ever does, like, pop up on the cookie, I would do that then, but who knows when that'll ever happen. Zounds, sir, thou must learn the English tongue before thou turns thy hand to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine-flavored brew. Though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness. You know, I just realized, I wonder, are we gonna have to, like... Is Shelb's gonna come in, we're gonna have to test, like, the actual tea at some point? Because that was the thing I remembered. Like, we made a big deal about, like, Sholmes having, like, an invention that literally you put a drop in it and it tells you just how good the tea is. Oh, drop of poison with barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspeare. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that or I'm in worse form. That fated evening, after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was done the tea at first. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Hold it! Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool. You're not convincing me you didn't do that. Quite so, quite so. But! No one likes going thirsty, do they? So nor would I die quenched than parched. Would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Oh, don't even. You were literally stealing gas. You had this entire thing, like, patched up for yourself. Right. No ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Whilst feigning destruction or debate, near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. Hold it! But the teacup Mr. Anatomy drank from was found completely empty at the scene. Now let's not forget the defense maxim. Drink tea while it's hot! I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound. Methinks, I don't think there was a single, like, stain other than, like, the water stain from the ice coins. Don't even. No, certainly, 'twas after I had made the coins of ice from his tea. An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. Ah, we did find that, didn't we? There's no contradiction here. It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course! I know what it is! It's Mr. Natsumy's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not sure that's it. I mean, the tea? I'm thinking, because, like, the tea in, what we're assuming was Shamspeare's cup had, like, his cup had, like, a tea ring in it that indicated that the tea was definitely sitting in, the tea was definitely sitting in his cup for, like, a long time before he drank any, whereas that was definitely not the case in, with the other cup. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guests had left and before you drank your tea. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Hold it! Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact. Isn't that right? To cheat, or to die, 'tis life's only choice. Yes. Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation be not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse? No, I don't. And be very sure, sir. Once this trial is over, Alderman Gas will take you the task over this. Legal task. I shall not run. I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run, nor to hide. But my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player? Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you. Dying with a shoddy shirt on your back. Desire motions with dance! Hoppity hop! Hoppity hop! A harsh world we live in. Thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution called on the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy. Don't stop thinking about him being a gas thief and lying on the stand multiple times. We're in England. Perjury isn't a thing here anymore. Sir, there a warning, counsel? Yes, my lord. Why am I the one in trouble here? So Shamspeare, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, used his tea to make your coins. Is that correct? To cheat or to die. I didn't make my choice many moons ago. Thus 'tis no surprise the poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the moulds of soap. Hold it! If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed. I mean, you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time. Was ensnared by literary debate, nor else be found in the furrows of the mind. The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean? And who was the stronger of the two? Really did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow. He did choke me out with his sick Natsume style jujutsu. I did not think Juliet could do that. Still so silly. I don't remember debates like that when I was studying. I mean, your debates were lame then. Like, I'll give them this. They have real taste. I would 100% be down to watch a debate between whether Romeo or Juliet is stronger, as represented by 2 men doing sick jujitsu moves on each other. Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening? My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shamspearean wisdom? Pfft. Wow. Husband, wife, and tea, ought I tepid be? Ah yes, still very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea. I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's been proven that there was no poison in Soseki-san's tea. That should be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today feels as though everybody is against us, Mr. Naruhodo. It must be the Reaper's poison. I'm afraid that we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere. The jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty. It really feels like we jumped into the fire here. Yeah, so that's... Yeah, no, I'm going to... Objection! Yep, that's what I thought. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the day in question. But that's impossible. How? Up logic. What? What is this, ye darkly clad fiend? What the fuck? You're starting losing with the Shakespearean nonsense now. 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant. A clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the insides of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right! It's completely clean! And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? What makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot. That's right. Yes. The Jerry Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. What's he putting in his tea that makes him that jittery? Caffeine? Is he drinking coffee? Mr. Natsume, have you ever heard of coffee? I can introduce you to someone. They can hook you up with some good coffee. You want to fly to the moon, Mr. Natsume? Let me call my captain. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours that he was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court! Get me to the ring!
Objection!
Oh. As a rule, I fill my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. We have confirmation! Manji drinks 7 cups of his wine during every trial. He's not quite on Goto's level, but for 1900s wine, I mean, he's got 1900s wine. That shit's expensive. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Was it 17? Was it 13 or 17? But Goto. Shit! I don't remember. I like that joke too. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yeah, on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspeare. Yes, my liege. Though you previously say that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup. Could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left in the scene? No! You don't get to do that! We literally made it a point to be like, we didn't find the poison bottle, we didn't find the teapot! Come on! Moving the goalpost! In fact, that vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. Ugh! Verily, it is as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, thou hast mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus I used the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. And you just suddenly remember now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. And the evidence says you're full of shit! The evidence says there was no poison! In any case, it makes no difference. You're doing a lot of heavy lifting for this poison case when you have nothing that has been poisoned so far! The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. Secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words... The cloak comes off! Now! The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean, then? I do declare, it means that there's no issue with the gas use testimony. Not from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, not did pass my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. Now what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and leaf as would be called salad. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. Well, you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly will I suffer with punishment to seem fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But, I pray ye wise, noble fellows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Ugh. Here is all your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you. Punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been trying to run the fence lawyer. Shove off!
Hey, me! I do declare, you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm.
Well, this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? No? What the fuck? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing.
I really never said anything like that.
But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Please tell me juror number 4 is gonna be like, oh no, I am not voting not guilty on this. Oh no, I'm not voting guilty on this, man. Name, blah, 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 blah. Court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings.
What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will say your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Wow, okay.
Guilty!
Jeez, already? Once again, not even 2 testimonies in yet, and they're already like, yeah, you're guilty. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day!
How's this happening? How's this always happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry a summation examination.
Very well. The court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
The trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Okay, I expect it from everyone else, but you, Altamont, really? Yours contentions.
Yo, what the fuck, Manji's on Thursday? Yeah! I was able to kind of swing for it today! And, I decided, like, I'm not gonna be able to stream any other point this week. So, or it's gonna be less time than usual, since I do still have to leave at 3, but, yeah, here we are. Also, hey, Jake, how you doing? Oh man, logic me. I think considered all evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's actually lethal gases. Oh, he's bringing up the fact that gas can in fact poison you. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes. You didn't give a reason! Why are you avoiding guilty? Just be told the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
Nothing else passed the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there?
Why is number 6 the most reasonable fucking person here right now?
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat.
Red's grandma. Oh, is Lee Altamont supposed to be Red's grandma? Is that the joke that I've been hearing for a long time now?
You were called, but you didn't find out from your lamb spy network.
Red said legit. Looks like his legit grandma. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Red's grandma looks like a not worker bee. Red's grandma looks like a bee? Does she dress like a bee? Does she carry a carousel shaped like a bee?
Never mind.
No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument was as unassailable as we'd hoped. Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that. And how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. So, I in turn honestly admit she's hot, so in turn Red's grandma's.
Yup, that sounds like a thing you would say and do. Honestly. Honestly is the key word.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we're talking about the method, and the dude did bring up the part about how gas can poison you, I might actually have to revisit my first theory. Because, okay, so it says you two definitely were not here for the very start. My current working theory was that Shamspeare poisoned himself, not to commit suicide, but to pin the blame on Soseki, says he wanted to get into Soseki's room, since I think, if I remember correctly, there's something about, like, a serial killer / burglar's treasure potentially being in there, because that's where he lodged. So I was thinking that Shamspeare poisoned himself and pinned the blame on Soseki, since he knew that someone was going to eventually find him, because Ultimate Gas keeping an eye on his comings and goings and such. Try to get him arrested. The only two things I was wondering was how he's going to get discovered unless he knew, like, when exactly the gas company was going to come knocking on his door. And I suppose the other thing that I was wondering about was, why he didn't do it the first time since he was out of court. Why he didn't do it the first time that, he had an opportunity available to him. But now we're bringing up, like, method, making it sound like we're going to have to find a different method. That makes me think we're going to have to go back to my first theory, which is that, like, maybe somehow the strychnine got into the gas? Maybe my very first theory is that I only developed, like, pretty much partway through the first court trial, was that maybe Meterman or All-Amount Gas in general just finally got sick of the weighing game and slipped some strychnine into the dude's gas. Try to pick him off like that. I don't know if, like, strychnine is something that would be, like... I don't know if strychnine is something that you could sneak into a dude's gas supply. I don't know. This is where we're finding out, I'm thinking. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Your examination. Defense's rebuttal.
I'm gonna have logic me. Having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Tell me more about your logic.
All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps it'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Wow, you're really laying it on thick there.
Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam! But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should all gas cost money?
Oh, just wait, lady. Just you wait.
It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, ma'am? Seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company charges for gas.
That's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Oh, what a beastly man. That cut mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas.
Lady, I think you lost the plot. Weren't you like the super racist last time?
No, Mr. Natsume is the one who's been stealing gas.
I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
Mr. Natsume has been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
The price of gas isn't real! To be frank, they're all racist. Yeah, even number 3 here is like being real bad this time, which is disappointing. He was like one of the more reasonable guys last time, and here he's like, well, he's Japanese, and he has a mustache, and also he's Japanese!
The stuff explosive can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases.
Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison is prone to exploding. Unless it's a wheezing. I think you'll find poison also can't lay or heat up a room. Ah! You're right! I didn't consider that at all! Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. That would require me getting paid, and that's never going to happen. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Yo. I swear we get, like... I swear case 3 or 4 is, like... Is, like, having, like, Alderman gas, I'll actually be shocked. Sit the fuck down, Lightbulb! Anyway, the point is I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Bonk them. Bonk the lamp. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes. No, stop it! Jake! Do something! Put a leash on this lamp!
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all the talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to stay here and take it, am I? I don't think so. Why are you feeling guilty? You clearly don't trust the thief. He's really buzzing now. Buzzing like a bee. Haha. I've heard about wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there's nothing compares to getting exploded! That's nothing compared to that zap you feel when you touch a light switch! These damn lamps and their electricity! Throw them all out! Throw out the lamps by network!
The explosion can hardly be described as nothing, madam, unless the thief of your gas is deplorable.
The Dara will be depressed from that comment. Wow, a Naruto reference? Really? My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. Fuck off! I watch other stuff too! Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't make a One Piece reference somehow! I was actually, like, that close to making a One Piece reference in my thumbnail. I was close to making, like, the thumbnail instead of Shamspeare being, like, Gold D. Roger. In, like, the opening when he's like, find my treasure, I left it all in that one place, but it's Joe Dark's head. There's a Bomb Devil Fruit guy, but he's mad. Who actually remembers that fucker? I would not have known. That's your department. What devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas we deliver to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody's questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But they don't have any gas? How do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
Steal your gas? Oh, no, is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and deliver our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes. And take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What brazen form of theft? When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have been up to its tricks. Oh, we're finally getting this mechanic! I forgot that was a mechanic at first. We have not gotten it once so far. I'll come back to you later. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening. Oh. I barely heard that. I don't know about no sound. Yeah, hold up. Let's go ahead and knock that up a little bit. Maybe knock it up a little bit more. Ooh, no, not that high. Not that high. I don't need a repeat. I don't need a repeat when that was, like, horrifically, like, loud. Anyway, thanks for the hydrate. I'm hydrating with a coffee that I got this morning. Thanks for the hydration. Thinking of you, wee-woo. It's snack time! Where's my moth? What the fuck did I just hear? Snack time! It's time! Wait, hold up. One other thing I need to do. I gotta tear one of these off the wall! Not that one. That one. Bombs up! Mmm. Oh. Delicious. Oh, yes. Fuck you, Flyboy! Fuck you, Lightbulb! Oh, so good. Feels good to finally release the restraints and just munch on the moths. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know. Very difficult indeed.
Thank you, that will do.
Huh?
Clearly this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already.
Wait, what? I concur, though my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. Hey, I'm not done yet! To your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much! Okay, good. I thought we were moving on. I was like, wait, what?
You'll turn your attention to the next juror's assertion, please, counsel.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. You being poisoned? She's poisoning him every day! This is what you get when you marry someone! That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now.
This is most troubling indeed!
It's always days like this when I don't get any wages. I get in a tea time, see? I see her doing it. My wife, I see her poisoning my tea. She's going to kill me if I don't bring money home. That's why I'm so desperate, you see. I can't be poisoned again. Someday the resistance will wear off. Someday she'll put in too much. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup. Oh, fuck. And you drink it anyway? She's my wife. What am I supposed to do? I was brought up proper, I was. Someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell! It's salt! He's got diabetes, no biggie. You get the white powder. You didn't bring home the money, it's salt. You make me a happy woman, it's sugar. I can be sweet, or I can be a salty bitch. I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. Nah, clearly she's slipping cocaine into his drinks. You probably... Actually, wait. Because, I mean, it used to be that, like, Coca-Cola was just made with cocaine. How obtainable was cocaine in the 1900s? How obtainable was cocaine in Victorian-era London? No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable! A lot. Let's move on, please!
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Does that mean that the victim could be shown to have ingested something else? You changed your leaning?
It was used for general medicine. Yeah, I think I do remember reading that.
Sorry, what's that now?
Oh, I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night...
What's the matter with you?
Sorry?
I said, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all?
I feel there's an English expression about a pot in a kettle that's appropriate here. I can't make it though, I came a little too close with that. I came a little too close to that one word. It's kind of wild, I've been seeing a lot of people, that word actually came up again on Twitter recently from, like, I think GameSpot, and people were, like, losing their shit over, like, learning about that England word. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all. It seems that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. The deaf old man has been listening to proceedings better than everyone else on the jury. I'd say it's sad, but I'm not shocked at all, actually. I suppose the trouble is, he has selective hearing?
Exactly.
Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Ugh, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspeare was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
So we're finally getting on to the act. So, Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
So Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh? Like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. Oh, okay. This is like, hey, did you not remember this mechanic from the first game? Why are you playing this game if you don't know that mechanic from the first game?
If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course. Once again, Sasaki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer.
Are you saying I need help?
So perhaps I gotta let Sasaki-san remind me.
I didn't know how to play the game! I've been a lawyer for like a whole week now!
Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's better that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask Mr. Naruhodo.
Hold it!
It is their fourth case, to be fair. That's true. Their fourth case that may or may not be retconned, according to case 5 of the first game. Oh!
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there.
Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Alderman Gasworker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
Was that proper procedure in the 1900s?
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Now please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how is blowing into the pipes coming to it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What disaster! The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. Before I yelled at the fellow, "Are you trying to kill us all?" I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipes... Ugh, I don't need that thought. It's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it silently seeps into the room. Snaruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. During number 3, defense requests that you amend your statement... Defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind. Well, I do. That's the company's secret method of identifying the rogues that tried to... Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, ma'am, it's widely known already.
Very well, during number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. And then you're in real trouble.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors? Oh yes, all floors are connected to the same pipe after all. That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties. Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe. It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest. But we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Indeed, it's been mentioned on more than one occasion in the papers even.
Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. And this is involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death. Snaruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all these strange occurrences. Okay... We didn't really have any... Cause I remember, like, they briefly mentioned it before, but I don't really have any evidence. I mean, I guess it's not really about the evidence. In this case, it's about pitting people. What exactly do they want me to pit, though? This is the trouble of, like... This is the problem with, doing these things, like, 2 weeks, having, like, 2 weeks of downtime between parts, so... I feel like if I pit 6 and 3, I feel like that's, like, jumping the gun. Cause I know, like, the end game is that, like, we need to prove that, like, the gas. So I know the end game is that, like, we have to prove that, like, they cause, like, the gas to, like, start kind of seeping in, and that's how, like, the dude got poisoned.
Hold it!
I'm gonna see if there's any. I'm gonna see if anything else changes with the presses first.
Hold it!
Wait, I already did this one. What am I thinking? Because I feel like if I pit, I'm like jumping the gun. I don't think there was anything else that like really popped up. I don't think anything would change with 5, so I'm not even gonna bother with him. No, well, I mean, if he blew into the pipe, then it had to have passed his lips, so... But that still feels like jumping the gun, because, like, how would you prove that, like, he did blow in? I mean, I guess if you know... Because I don't think I have any evidence about, like... Screw it, I'm trying it. I'm trying it.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other!
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Jury number 6, did you hear what jury number 3 just said?
Eh? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did in a manner of speaking past the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall at the scene? See if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. The mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard had enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. Huh? What a piece of work! There's a man! What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir, as I hop gleefully. Hop thee hop. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that's how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord!
Are they tasty then, gas... Sir! Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Was the gentleman suggesting the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Ah, yes! I'm starving! I'll just eat gas! Perhaps no actress will perform a kiss scene with him. Ma'am. For shame, ma'am. Speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes!
Objection.
Ah!
A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
This is no summation examination. This is a farce! Prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. Again?
A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection.
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. I already want off of this statement. I already want off of this topic. I can't even imagine the shit that lamp was saying in this playthrough at this point. I don't even want to imagine it. I refuse to ask it. I refuse to know. I have evidence to prove it. I do. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp. Oh, where was... That is! These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes! Skin prints! That were found at the scene! Oh, wait a minute. We did this before in, like, case 5, didn't... Was it case 5 or was it case 4? They're gonna throw it out because it's like... Oh, Sherlock Sholmes. He's full of shit. We can't trust this evidence. That's not real evidence. We don't know forensics.
Skin prints, Counsel. I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Sholmes.
Throw it out.
It feels all the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it! I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if I could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
Uh...
Found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder. Could you have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
Meh, lady, please.
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine sitting with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Right, what have you been up to, you nut?
I asked the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... If Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in this room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What's the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case, and we'll try this again in 2 months. 4 months. But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by a great detective! It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Ugh!
Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
But... Huh? You know, I forgot that you do have a hold it voice line now. I don't remember you sounding like that in the first case, though. Please, my lord, if I may. Mr. Sato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. This feels very similar to, like, that moment in, like, Justice for All where, like, Franny pulled up the picture of, like, Phoenix talking to, Maya from Maya, blah, 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 Maya turned Mia. Feels very much like that moment where it's like, I mean, yeah, it can't be used as evidence, but oop, here it is. I just showed it to you, so now you can't not think about it. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare, Great Detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. I want to hear what that shitty actor fellow has to say about those shitty handprints.
What's wrong with you two? That's foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait!
You heard, Lordship! It's not fair to commit.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Just one more juror changes his or her mind. This Natsume's trial had to continue. Thank you, Mr. Sano. I couldn't have done without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
I'm seriously still shocked that, like, Lady Altamont is still, like, going along with this. I'm still shocked that she even, like, hit guilty in the first place.
Now what? Very interested in the results of this Great Detective's investigation of the scene. We're the ones who decide the evidence is worthy of consideration or not. Us, the jury.
I don't believe in breaking promises. We can't come to a decision while so much is up in the air.
Okay, but now what do they want me to do?
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And there's no room for doubt.
It's all pointing at a Japanese man with a big mustache. This is the Englishman with the bigger mustache. It's not letting me skip this. The defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that?
What, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And Mr. Shamspeare indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question. It can't be denied there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that's playing on my mind. As the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. Besides,
Yes?
even the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before. It doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the in question, does it?
I mean, it doesn't, but at the same time, the fact that he has been up to the shenanigans should be enough proof that maybe we shouldn't take everything he says at face value. Oh?
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
You stay out of this.
What? That's true. That sounds a little hasty. No, stop! No, wait!
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. You and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Wow.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please! You racist! Naruhodo, we can't substantiate our position. I'm afraid the jurors that changed their names before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe in the night in question?
I'm still wondering about this envelope, because didn't Green have that? I'm thinking it's supporting testimony, but would they accept
would they accept Soseki Natsume's testimony for this? Well, they just say I can't prove it. Well, I'm not in a position to prove it yet.
As I thought, I had a feeling that would stump you Japanese.
Shove off. We are capable of independent thought, you know. I think we need to gather some more material to bolster our position, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, that's why he was trying to imply by saying we can't prove it yet.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the examination, please.
Anything changed with the other two?
Hold it!
Well, this is still the same, so... Nothing changed with you, then... Yeah, nothing changed with you, because I'm gonna have to try that testimony.
Hold it!
Wait, what am I doing? Just reload. Supporting testimony? No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garadeb residence that night. Namely, does it want me to do Soseki or does it want me to do Garadeb himself, though?
Take that!
Okay, it was Soseki. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Mr. Soseki Natsume himself.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! There's a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings!
Even that fateful night happened! When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out.
And somebody tried to kill me! On the question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly!
So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the name's man's stove go out on purpose?
Hold your horses there. What would he do that for? This is a lot more damning than I thought.
Did you try to murder Soseki Natsume, actually? Because I totally thought you weren't going to try that because Mira was on your ass, but did you actually try to murder him? Mr. Foreman.
What is it, man?
We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree that there's more to this case than meets the eye. Ugh.
Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost.
As 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord, you've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue.
As the defense has rightfully indicated, summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints have made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh?
I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5.
Oh, me?
As I went to some pains to point out already, print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in the British Code of Law.
Ah!
As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Ah!
Objection.
But the prosecution must concede that would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection.
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required.
Yes.
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison would have been spread in the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
Ah! I didn't think of that.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of. That is... to use the leaking gas to commit murder. I totally did not think he was going to try to murder when he had ultimate gas kind of keep an eye on him. Hola! Hola!
Counsel, precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Not even unravel the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of...
Take that.
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You freeze to death in no time!
Mr. Garrett, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder!
Good gracious!
Objection.
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here.
What? How do you still claim that?
Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison in the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there?
Who did put it there?
The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trigger with the gas supply and his intention to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So now we must ask, how can anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
Ah, you mean to suggest...
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known.
What?
In other words, the person who put the poison in the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Seki Natsume.
Ah!
Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend?
Ah! Ah! Certainly quick to go from we had no evidence of that to that's evidence that he was totally the accused.
How do you manage to turn that around me so rapidly? Senator Holder, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspiere's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean name the true culprit?
No, it might sound impossible, but we failed to do that. I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. Evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now.
My first thought was Meteor Man, but it wouldn't be Miss Green, would it?
Prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Form.
How would she poison the thing, though, if she was stuck in the hospital? What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what...
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. True culprit of this crime.
The true culprit?
A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see the reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax.
Thank you.
Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
I'm still stuck on whether I should point the finger at Meteor Man or Green, because Green had the letter, a part of the letter that was found at the scene of the crime. I feel like Meteor Man has the real motive here, but
She did say that she wished that the poison had killed him.
I'm wondering, would she have known that the dude was poisoned? Because we know it can't be Garrett. He's still out of jail in like 2 or 4 months' time.
Gas poisoning. Miss Green was awake by the time the murder happened. And she has already demonstrated that she can get her hands on poisons and the like.
If it's not her, I'll just throw it back in the Meteor Man, but...
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago? The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes! Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital, unconscious. So in the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still... My colleagues and I visited Miss Green Hospital yesterday. We found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Good gracious, she had poison?
And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requested that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, pray what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her. I still seriously wonder if you could be Duncan Ross. Is this either you're Duncan Ross, or you were responsible for killing Duncan Ross? Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. You see my learned Nipponese friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. Prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here.
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Very well, I grant the request.
Excellent. I hope.
The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court's adjourned.
I know she had the envelope, I did not think this is the direction we were going. Certainly there was a connection, but I did not think attempted murder was the connection. 23rd February, 11:32 a.m. The Old Bailey, defense antechamber.
Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks!
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Welcome to Mr. Narahoro Esquire, and non-locum's judicial assistant, Miss Mikotoba Esquires. No, finally, at long last there could be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. There you are at last. Ah, Hairlock Sholmes. May you drink my turbid tea full forever silent.
Put the hand down. I thought the tea was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came! How wonderful!
Yes, allow me to not put my mouth on my pipe. Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, but it's very nearly time for luncheon. Those scores ring clearly across your faces.
Nobody's there thought anything of the sort. You know if I did think that.
The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Such spirited determination is a beauty all of its own, does it not?
Oh yes. Just don't even.
And I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? Why indeed, Mr. Sholmes? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Are you sure about that? Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter?
Oh, yes.
Stop, please. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night! And the results? My first light, I was exhausted, and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
I feel like I need to contest that, but... Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already.
Whether presupposed by proof by experiment, whether it's presupposed by I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. It's the poison Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, You didn't manage to...
It's a laborious task as the bottle is near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contains strychnine.
Oh. So now we have total confirmation that, yeah, she's got her hands on strychnine. So I was right.
Perhaps, though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the ball in your care now. But licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Don't do what I did.
Bottle of poison. Bottle found in possession of Miss Green with traces of selecting poison strychnine inside. Damn though, she was gonna kill herself with strychnine? Wait, no, but the rat tried to... No, but the rat drank the thing and died, like, near immediately. I mean, I guess it's a rat, so there'd probably be a big difference in how much they can take before they just totally go out, but... Damn, though, she was gonna suffer for her suicide. Ah, can I have a word?
Gregson! Gregson! How good of you to come!
Forget it. Excuse me. Bye! Wait a minute, Inspector! I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. Well, look at your face. I'd say it's someone else who you'd think is making a nuisance of himself.
My dear Inspector, please, speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here.
Believe me, if I could do that... Hold up. Believe me, if I could do that... Well, it would be a whole lot simpler for me. Do you have your results, Inspector? The investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room. Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. A dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room? Man by the name of... Ah, yes, Selden. Seriously, though, one name? He was just born with one name? No last name? I went through the archives of the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? I got it out of the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you! Capital Offender's file. Scotland Yard's file about the convicted criminal Selden that includes a newspaper article about him dying of illness in prison. These documents includes the details that were in the newspaper coming we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court records so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Gregson, I'm gonna miss you when you're not around after this case, because I'm assuming that there's not gonna be any more surprise cases between then and case 5.
Oh, Scotland Yard's working so wonderful.
No, wait, I think they did, like, mention, like, what happened to Gregson after case 5, but I don't remember anymore.
Indeed, my dear fellows, the inspector here is a shining diamond in his crown.
A shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
Counsel for the defense, the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all, certainly not.
He's not gonna jump in dramatically at any point in this trial, is he? He's gonna be busy sleeping!
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache and floods of tears personally, so... the best of luck to you!
Look at you, Mr. Naruto, Esquire! Yes, Mr. Natsume?
It's time, is it?
Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. It's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to!
Mm. 23rd of February, 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey, courtroom number... Oh wait, there's no courtroom number, right.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident.
A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. As we all know, I am an expert on prejudice. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutioner, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present ready to take the stand?
Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in!
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please.
William Shamspeare, my liege. For my occupation, I can say only. Will I be a tragic victim to be pitied?
Currently unemployed, in other words.
I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed, in other words.
I mean, she's an art student, so that was to be expected. What coterie? You think art students in 1900s England got commissions? Also, hold on. Didn't even think about that word for a moment. But now I need to know. Time for the part of the stream where Manji pulls out his phone and looks up definitions of words.
What are we?
I can barely hear that. What the hell? Kaderi? A small group of people with shared interests or tastes, especially one that is exclusive of other people. Okay.
Mr. Shamspeare,
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. Possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would prefer naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes,
you are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume?
yes, the officer did explain. He said he poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And, do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. Yeah, okay. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady. Die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let's proceed with the matter at hand. That being, to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange. Very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? Barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. On the night this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other relevant things might I be suspected of? Still very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
Wow. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no! Incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful incident?
Fortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. Of course, we'll be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare.
But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned!
We'll see about that.
Let's proceed then. Witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court. On the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February.
Witness testimony, the evening of 17th February. 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m., I was walking along in the snow and I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house of the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time it had been seen up in the air. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business.
Yes, the second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. We can only presume that this is the most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare. 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken, that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine? Mr. Seki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance. But I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Consul, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord! It was 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m. I was walking along the snow and I was suddenly stabbed in the back. I'm all acquainted with the case. I'm sorry to go through that. It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. I woke up to find out the case had been solved and the culprit arrested. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening. It should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose so. Thank you. But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day. First, we'll write the truth about this new case. The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend, what's it called? Yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road. Just some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground. I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture. You're hiding it. You're hiding it because you know... When this is a student of art, city-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas. That's right. I happen to like the curvy look of that part of town. Uh-huh. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term. Point is, she's definitely hiding something. Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, did you tell the court what exactly you were doing? 'Twould be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. Hold it! A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the slug and salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End.
A little unexpected, I feel.
What do you mean, Lord Van Seeks?
The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining. The locality, at least. Not an establishment you expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. It's true, the menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected Grub's grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush.
All equally appetizing. I just want to try some water in a different pot for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be?
But perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why I had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days, he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. Why don't we have some evidence that can explain those actions?
I never did actually take a look at it. I never did take a closer look at my 2 new evidence.
This isn't the point we've been hearing so much about strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottom here. Look.
I mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not! As long as we don't lose this trial. Wow! If I lose, I'm taking a big ol' swig! Okay, Ryunosuke! Do you need help? No! Even if we lose the trial! No! We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto! Get your mind up, Susao-san! I'ma drink it! I'ma drink it!
Nothing else to see on here? Yup, it's poison. Got it. This is the more interesting bit.
Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. That had natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Manchester's Strangeways prison announced the death of suspected murder and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He'd been suffering from fever since the end of October. Lured by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out.
Not a moment.
I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment. I'm trying a clue that could explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there. We must present it to the court. Yes, absolutely.
That's all in this matter, Counsel. I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
This is the first time I've been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
Don't you dare say a word. I can already hear it. I can already hear Lamp. I can already hear them. I can already see it.
It's nothing really. It's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. Ah! It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green! What's that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Duncan Ross.
Please, Miss Green, tell us more about that note. I'm sorry. There's really nothing I can tell you.
I can assure you, it's unrelated to all of this. Completely unrelated. Truth is, you went out that day because that's what the note told you to do, isn't it? Instructions were for you to come to Briar Road at 5 o'clock that afternoon. I didn't think I should go at first, but then I thought it might be a good opportunity to see what the East End looked like.
Very well, if that's your final word on the matter. Continue, please.
Anyway, I was raised straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Hold it!
Yes, you didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, did you? In the early hours. Exactly. So how could I have had anything to do with it? And yet you still hold me in here to court like this. Honestly. By the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you? Yet, in spite of that, you claim that I was the culprit? Well, You certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? Not at all. There you have it. The good lady has yet to see evidence, my learned Nipponese friend. I'm working on it!
Counsel, I will point out here that the jury's next decision will be final.
We're really up against the wall here. So Naruhodo, did you notice? One of the witnesses reacted rather strangely to something that was said before. Oh, you mean... That's right. When you see someone reacting in an odd way, it's time to pursue. I need to keep a closer eye on the people on the stand, even if they're not speaking at the time, it seems. Yeah. You know how to play the game.
Hold it! What? Excuse me.
Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court? To be, or not to be? That is the question. Pray forgive me. The great bard's words spring from within me with an error thought. Don't tell me. It's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Maybe Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps? Well. Nay, sire. 'Twas nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you both lodgers in the same house. I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours?
Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note, do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes. But I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Don't worry, we'll dispose of it for you.
Miss Green's card. Note an envelope that seems to have been ripped open rather roughly. Contains instructions to meet with someone who claims to have information about Duncan Ross. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shamspeare, Miss Green. Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Screen strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah! Wait, the envelope is torn. I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else. Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Exactly! That's it! Try and match them up!
Oh, we're not even being coy about it.
They go perfectly... Blah, 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 blah. They go together perfectly. The torn end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
Nothing else to see on here?
Do I even get to actually open the note? Really?
Hold it!
Mr. Shamspeare,
Yes, sire.
on the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason?
I don't know what you're talking about. Brave, thou has a purpose. Speak as...
Very well, I'll present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely,
Take that!
but I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Row at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspeare, your actions in the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Ugh! Personally, I find it hard to believe that's coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Well...
Excuse me, can I say something? Yes, Miss Green? That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this old man, does it? Well, you think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well then, you may amend your testimony. Include details about the peculiar note.
That was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
Hold it!
I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you? Yes, that's correct. There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on the envelope. It was in my letterbox, and that's all I know, I'm afraid. I have no idea who sent it.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is this Duncan Ross, please?
A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest. But in the end, I decided to go. You found out what the information was? Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight. Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back. As my learned friend hopefully remembers. Ah, yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting. Mr. Naruhodo, you pursued Mr. Shamspeare wonderfully there. It's worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere. Well, as you've managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that? Ah! Yes, of course! Yelling objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose.
Objection!
Just going, okay, yeah. The day before the incident, like 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. Upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's a torn-off end of an envelope. Well, is it? It so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. We did do find that... in Mr. Shamspiere's room. Eh? In my room? Mr. Shamspire, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions after you follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 PM on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspire. You already knew about this note, didn't you? Was the note delivered to him? And she found it when she went into his place? But... And you, Miss Green... what did I do? As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it! You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? You broke... thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me?
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Miss Green.
Yes.
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you've endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Now with perjury, don't believe in that here. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now. The subject is this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received.
Anomaly of the note.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. The day written, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. After the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I stuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point at the villain here, and as for that torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You don't claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord. I would swear to have it set upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned to the tavern that night, I had not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case...
I'm trying to remember, did we ever... I'm trying to remember now. Did we ever establish whether she was going... Did we ever establish, like... what direction... I feel like we established what direction she was going in, like... the case in the previous game, but I don't remember, like, which way she was going. If she was, like, moving away from the lodgings, or if she was still going to, like, go around... If she was still, like, going, like, around the corner. Was she going, like, closer or farther away from the Garadeb residence? That's my drink done.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it appears that your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? Unfair you to think I'm the one lying.
Beg your pardon?
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie.
I feel like we've had at least one Ace Attorney case where that was 100% not the case.
I just don't remember which one. And that was delivered... Larry! You gonna tell me that Larry never lies? Especially in case 5 of the 3rd game? Come on, man. And it was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is.
That's true, Miss Green. How do you explain the facts? Part of the envelope was without question found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Don't see why I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to say what happens, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations or proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. Wow! The fledgling will do his best! Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Well, counsel.
I'm ready, my lord.
Very well then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. I mean, no question of that. That's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. It's not a pretty one. Did she call him to the slug and salad to get him out of the room so she could break into the place, poison the thing with strychnine, and then when she left, she got struck down by the knife? Could the strychnine have been sitting there for like almost a whole week? How long does strychnine last if it's not in like a drink or something? I do remember now. It was a week ago, per adventure, that note was delivered on to me. And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nice, sire. Just as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as my own, verily, it is impenetrable. Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choices be twixt I knew him, and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Oh? Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the slug and salad. Presumably that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Marry, no will have the better of me, sire, save for the low curiosity. That is true, I was compelled by my own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. In the end, my curiosity was not satiated. They had written there in I did tarry a long hour at the slug and salad, yet nobody came. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire. This is all sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the slug and salad, my lord. No, it's returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. All around me danced a great many companions. Hoppity hop! What do you mean? Flies, sir! Flies, sire! Flies! Ugh! Good lord!
I imagine the flies like him. He does not look like the type to shower.
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me? I think they were just flies. I can't help thinking that the flies thought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? No. After the evening I shared the company with the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. When exactly did you notice it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupied my mind. I am busy with greater ideas. In other words, didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupied my mind. I am busy with greater ideas.
And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Yeah, she couldn't have been doing that after she got struck. This is looking more and more likely that she tried to kill him, like, on the night. That's my new working theory. She sent him to the Slug and Salad Bar, someplace far enough away that she could break in there, do her business, steal the note, lace the gas. How she know to lace the gas pipe with strychnine? Why, of all the things, would she choose to lay? Unless she knew. I mean, I guess if she suspected that he was the real killer and that's how he did it before, then yeah. Like, choosing that method would presumably. Ah, yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. Ah! I'm not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I will tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh, dearie me. What's Lord Van Zeke's getting at? Even he thinks that she's full of bullshit, at least if writing the notes. What do you mean? You think I stuck to this man's room, do you? Why would I? It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspeare about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened, except for you breaking into Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings.
Objection!
For what reason would the witness have done that? Ah! I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspeare's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. Well, there's some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though. Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruto. Close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. I can point out the villain here. As for that total piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? How did you get rid of the paint on your thing? Hold up! You literally, like, tilted your thing very slightly and the arrow point just disappeared. Are you a magician, lady? Are you the ancestor of the Garmier? Whatever you pronounce it as. I have no clue how to pronounce that magician trope name, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. But such an artist, remember? I was nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie! This project will readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds still harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman? Look at me do a little jig. Look at me schmoove. This is the dance of my people. Stupid dances. You have heart. I don't think so. You know, fletchers like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy? Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist till thy instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days! Oh, the years! Alas, to allay in thee, thou must wait so long, and in vain. Mr. Naruto, check out some clever remark. This is your chance to shine! I know Shakespearean actor Miss Susato. Now, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Yes! As it always does. It's clear Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamspeare's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter. Yes, two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion. Terrifying? Yes, I'm afraid to say the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely.
Is there... I don't think there's a special thing that... I don't think there's a thing that popped during any of the pressings.
Hold it! Hold it! Objection!
They miss something or they just forget immediately?
Objection!
Nope, jumping on that one. And look, there are clearly grounds for being suspicious of that last statement. I'm sorry, Counsel, but I failed to see why.
Well, you know, I was just playing devil's advocate.
Yes, you do appear to have something of the devil in you, Mr. Naruhodo.
This is a man merely dishing out penalties.
Hold it!
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to...
Hold it!
Mm. Wasn't the picture of Duncan Ross? I don't know what else I can do to...
Hold it! Objection!
I want to re-review this.
You wouldn't have broken in for the money, would you?
Objection!
No.
I already tried the photograph. That would have been my big thing. It's not the poison. Oh my god. This is the point. This is the part we want to be like, yeah, you didn't poison him. That's how we're gonna do. Okay. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. Though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. Ah! According to the defense's independent analysis, almost chemistry set. We'll just keep that part to ourselves. Liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? Very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare. Ah! Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gasoline in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison.
Can this be?
You broke into my room, too! It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion we can really reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearly. Me! Order! Order!
Guzzle, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison in the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
But Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected. If this murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
Well, that's a very good point. And that's the problem. Perhaps not, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
What? There's a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Lord Van Zeeks? And of course, the following morning, there was more activity in Mr. Shamspeare's address. More activity? Ah, yes! Me and his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder. That's right, as the defense has already proposed. Mr. Shamspeare is meddling with a gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. He caused the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. Why did he want to kill Natsume, though, if not to, like, break into his room to try to find that money, though? It sounds like murdering him was a big, important part of whatever it was he was planning. I actually took that out of the equation because I thought he didn't need... So I thought he just wanted him out, not that he wanted to kill him. The needless hamper of the gas removed, the poison in the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right! Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present in the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! I just noticed she's on a box. I don't remember seeing that box the last time we got, like, a look at that camera angle. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this lair is all part of the plan.
What plan?
Court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Saddle at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home?
Exactly! While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed.
You mean to say that letter?
was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room!
Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this.
You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
Take that!
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings of Mr. Garadebs, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago. The man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings.
That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes! I remember now! The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into his gas pipe and causing gas leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Ah! Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. Life is simply unfair, don't you think?
Where's... I don't have a snail. I don't have a snail prepared. No!
It's an interesting story they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you... Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn end. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry! Marry! Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe?
This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder?
Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Hailing so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gases, causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shamspeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Oh, we've got a motive for you, alright.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I've been cited. Besides, otherwise, I did every others with my festival hopping. Hoppity hop. You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Nalhuddle, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel!
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room! If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason?
Sorry, Miss Green, you're not a knight. Put your pitiful sword and shield down.
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence of something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh villains! Oh vileness! Oh villainy! Oh tyranny! Oh relativity of woman!
Hey, uncalled for.
But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I I don't turn the key in the lock! The whole place is falling apart. The locks and the doors are no different. Like it showed me once how to unlock the door. Some taps and a pipe of water. Okay! She's just straight me! Yeah, I totally could have broke into his room! That was something we did not have anything for, she just admitted! Excuse me? Awfulness! Oh, awfulness! Oh, tyranny! Oh, profanity of woman! We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion. For now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note I sent him lying on the floor. I went to pick it up. I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place with a picture inside. Eh! Yes, we also discovered a hiding place. So we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. I forgot about the tin box. I forgot about the empty tin box for a moment. That's what I'm weighing on. That's what I'm weighing on to be the big thing that blows everything out of the water. Ah, yes. No, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. You stole it! What? There was something in it? Yes. Yeah! It's rather a nice key. Ah! She's just been wearing it the whole time and you didn't even know it. What are you doing with that? What the? I forgot the color is drained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it! What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, what's this all about? He inherited that key? All the stuff that's on the floorboard was Duncan Ross's. That's why he had a picture in there. He had the picture in there. He had the treasure, the idea to the treasure trove in there, and that key, the potential key to the treasure trove, isn't that? It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So if it means you can't open something now, I don't care. Give it back this minute! Give it to me!
Calm yourself, witness!
So Mr. Shamspeare has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspeare at first. Considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events.
In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspeare's alleged crimes?
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not?
Selden file? How'd you get a hold of that? Selden! Now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see.
And so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. Some 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found.
Yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here.
1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up. It seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely regarded secret. Location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
Are we saying Shamspeare was the roommate? Excuse me?
You mean this key is... Mr. Shamspeare was you, wasn't it? You were at the Capitol Offender silently died, were you not?
What are you talking about? There's a false charge, I tell you! A false charge!
The name of the inmate who was with Selden as death isn't noted in this file. A simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamspiere's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Soseki Natsume? The defendant of this case, no less.
He decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. You... Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything that the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Yeah, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamspeare. It's mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine.
Oh!
Mr. Shamspeare!
It's all lies! I don't accept any of it! Why should I? After all, you have a shred of evidence! You can't prove I killed that fellow! Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen?
They all just go, not guilty!
I don't admit to it. That's all you can do! You can't arrest me! For the time being, anyway! There, you can arrest the victim, can't you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. As I sway my hips. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it. And I can almost taste it now. The only thing I just give up.
There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. He seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No! He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first. Fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
That conclusive evidence I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle. I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord,
Yes, Counsel?
the defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe you are already in possession of something that could give us a clue to its whereabouts. You are?
Wiggle!
It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already. It definitely paid off then.
Very well then, Counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hole?
He probably wants to say a skin prints, but would that still be a... But would it still be a thing? Would the skin prints still be there after so long? Skin prints? Question mark?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Suppose as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare.
Wow, Sholmes, just calling it out, I see, okay.
Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title.
The Sherlock Sholmes himself! What are you doing here, great detective? The usual haunts are the filthy backstreets of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since last we met.
Mr. Sholmes! He does know Lord Van Ziekson. Well enough to say something like that in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover the vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. This is the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. Ah! We need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you have been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, yes?
What might I use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. The convict was arrested. He was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? The key on Miss Green? You need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. If something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record.
Not my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain possession of the late convict Selden's create indicator solution?
Take that!
Miss Green! Ah! Me? What do you want with me? Key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on the surface that we can use.
Very true.
That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room they used to rent. Ah!
Mr. Shamspeare has one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes.
Ah! So, Mr. Shamspeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hand on Sullivan's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shamspeare. No! No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt!
Whoa! Ah! Oh, Shamspeare! Despair!
What is exploding in his pocket?
I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all.
See, I tried to find the convict's hall of stolen goods. After you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him. He refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
This is a Garrett that really has had a lot to pull up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Well, Mr. Natsume, unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance. But wasn't to be.
No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, the Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove into his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
She appears.
William Shamspeare, how's it go? To be or not to be, that is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, your case is not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. Gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. You say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. Don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if that's important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There's spare rooms at my house. Don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduate before we told our parents, remember?
Oh, I don't know anything about Ace Attorney, but I just want to stop by and say hi real quick. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Nix. I'm doing very well. I hope you're doing well too. It's actually been a while since I've been able to really pop by your stream. We are actually at the end of Case 2 of the second Great Ace Attorney game, so spoiler, we're kind of past the end. We're kind of past like all the major stuff at this point. At this point, it's just a denouement. But yeah, I hope you're doing well too, Nix.
That was the last time we ever spoke. The very night he fell victim to the gas. If I had known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room this instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him. Sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick up a quarrel with the publican. This place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! Because of that convict who used to live there! It's trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas. I can hardly breathe. Those lights have been checked. No problem there. It's like, I'm the problem! That's what they're thinking! But how could that be? Bucket was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Oh, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. Anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Is it really an accident, though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. She just got her hands on strychnine. She just bought it for the black market. She just had access to the black market. Okay. I thought strychnine was something you could just free... Oh, I really did think that strychnine was something you could just kind of freely get in, like, this era. Because I remember reading that it could be used as rat poison. Black market? I've never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can. You really can buy anything you could think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. So you poisoned the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with. And wait. Mr. Shamspeare was innocent and nothing would come of what he'd done. Well, if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. I thought of the name of the man I suspected, William Shamspeare, and I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 PM on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. He'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter. It worked out what the gas pipe was straight away. I smeared a good amount of the poison on blots all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done. The culprit would get his just desserts. I think that's supposed to be 2 S's, isn't it? Spell check!
I'll be right back. I need to check something real quick. See how much time I have left. A few more minutes. Let's see how much farther we can get into this case in the next, like, 5 or so minutes. I might actually have more than that. I don't know. Thursdays is not a normal day for me to do this, but I might have more time than I suspect.
3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord! I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes!
And I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green,
Yes, my lord.
you will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamspeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood. The subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad you're being here, Miss Green. Oh! And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now, you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Soseki Natsume? Yes, my lord! Court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We're in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant...
Yeah.
Court is adjourned!
Twenty-second of February, or 23rd of February. I keep reading that second for some reason. I keep saying second. I'm a fool. 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey Defense Antechamber.
Oh, yes. Yes, at last.
Divine justice duly done!
Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache!
Hey! That's uncalled for.
No! This
What's the way to do with my mustache?
Don't say that luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Let us do it, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Once again, you've saved me from doom!
Very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your quill. You're second in almost as many days.
I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
Ah, about a week ago now. I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did, you did. I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wherever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that wherever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. I want to feel the same way.
That's why I'm still getting the hell out of Dodge. I made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan!
What? Just when we become friends here in England. What terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful.
Oh, well, no! I mean, I would presume to call it literature! Why not? What is that precisely the definition? That's precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache! Hold up.
Okay, that was nothing. Let's finish this case. I think I can actually finish this case, even if we are going a little over my normal time.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have the delusions of grandeur.
Everyone would love to read your work. Maybe someday it will be featured in a Japanese school. Maybe someday it'll be seen in a Japanese school game. Presumably, like the fourth one. Well, fourth is, relative. Well, fourth numbered, at least. Whatever. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. From a battle with the Reaper.
Ah, that's very true. And there's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
Desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes! Faced with such a terrifying prospect.
Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
But that's
not why I'm leaving! I mean it! Hey! He threw up an injection, he gets the line! Come on, guys! That's the rule! Everyone who objects gets to say the line! In their voice! Come on!
That was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Sasaki-san did indeed return to Japan and submit a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikoto was prompted to visit the scholar. Barely any time later, Sasaki-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram saying falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. They recovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. "24th of February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room. Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. That's simply marvelous of you.
Hold on. Okay, that was probably the last time I'll do that.
To go to the secret hiding place in just 1 day. Wasn't it supposed to take 3 minutes?
As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Just angrily munching away at his chips.
Rexy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley.
Happily, I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires a man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
What's in it? What exactly is the loot?
Let's look then if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul.
What is that?
A collar? A bloody collar.
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge though!
Look at all the gemstones sitting in it. You can see why it was slim to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There's some dark stains. You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt.
Of course, there's this emblem here. A large layer B and a small crown. B. What's this signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been?
That's all of that, I think.
What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color is drained from his face.
Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, aren't you? Could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key.
Ah, yes. Get your grumbly hands off that, you lot, and hand it over, now! Never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me. At least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? It's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect! Isn't it so fascinating? You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume? The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man of the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a 2-part story. Oh, I can't wait!
A word, please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. That was the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
That is suspicious.
And so it was that the second of Sylvierchii-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
You unlocked the key of knowledge. Case 2, done and dusted. So 3, return the great departed soul.
Alright. So yeah, I was able to go a little over, thankfully. I probably could keep going for a short while longer, but I'm not 100% sure how much longer, and I really don't feel like starting up on episode 3 with that hanging over my head. So, I think now is a perfect time to call it for today. Whew. I really thought for sure that... I mean, I guess Shamspeare really was, like, the impetus for everything that happened in a way. That's definitely one way to, make the victim the true culprit. In a certain sense. But, yeah. That'll be it for me today. As I stated before, the reason I want to do this today, other than the fact that I was actually able to swing it, is because I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to stream Saturday night because I have work on Sunday morning, and I definitely won't be streaming tomorrow morning because I'm actually going to be on my good buddy the Lightbulb Lampert stream, as they are having their birthday celebration stream tomorrow. Well, birthday stream. So, to anyone who is interested, I would heavily encourage you to keep an eye out for good old Lightbulb. Back to then, let me go ahead and... for the hell of it. Be sure to follow that lamp and keep an eye out for tomorrow, because there's going to be some fun stuff. There's some fun stuff in the plans, I know. For now, though, that's it for me for this week. I don't plan on streaming at my own side tomorrow, so thank you for joining me, everyone. Next time will probably be more Persona. Things might be reaching ahead in Persona 4 very soon, so I'm wondering if I should start putting more of a focus on it. I don't know, I like having, like, these synced up parts right now. These synced up part numbers right now, so we'll see. But next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul. I hope to see you for the next stream. See you then!